Hi everyone, welcome back to the Zicast. I'm your host Ryan Ziaks, and today I'm joined by marketer Prenny Yaghobi.
Hi everyone.
On my show, I interview people, I get to know them better, and I'm hyped to get to know more about you. So how about you kick things off by telling us a bit about yourself?
Okay, awesome. I'd love to. So I'm currently an executive assistant at Cal Express Electric in North Hollywood. It's an electric company, and on my free time, I also volunteer for a few nonprofits, the WICT Network Southern California chapter, where I get to be part of their marketing team. So I've really gotten into the entertainment industry through more of the nonprofit and volunteering side, because that's more of where my passion lies. And I got my MBA. A lot of my projects were focused on the entertainment industry and the business side of it. So in the future, I'm hoping to be more in the business and legal affairs department.
So WICT is Women in Cable Telecommunications. Can you tell us a bit about them and what they do and why you enjoy working for them?
The WICT network originally started off as for women in cable telecommunication. And then as media evolved, they decided to also be inclusive of media, entertainment, and technology. So it's really a network for all professionals in those industries, and not just for women, but also men. We have men on the board as well. It's just a space for women to speak about their experience in those industries and shine light on ways we can create mentorship, community, and leadership.
Kind of what really led you into wanting to work with them?
So it all happened kind of like naturally through people I met. I worked with them. Like I said, I entered their mentorship program, but I found out about the WICT network through executives I would do informational interviews with. And at Woodbury, they have this amazing informational interview chat that they organize with executives. I forgot the term that they call it, but I signed up and I spoke with an executive, and she was so amazing. And I noticed on her resume the WICT network, and a lot of these other executives that worked in entertainment had the same organization they were part of. So that's how I found out about it and immediately joined because their student rate was so affordable. And I believe moving forward, it's going to be free. But whenever I signed up, it just seemed like too good to be true, where you get to meet people that work at these companies that I was really interested in. And I just wanted to be around more of it so I could learn and grow as a professional. So whenever I joined the WIC network, yeah, it was more as a student, just curious to see what they had to offer. And so when they offered me position on the board, yeah, I was like, I'd love to.
Do you have any specific favorite memory from your time working there?
My favorite event at the WIC Network is definitely the Leah Awards. It's super cool to see all these amazing honorees gather and receive their Leah Award, which stands for Leadership, Excellence, and Advocacy. And we really get to celebrate the work that they've done to create such an incredible space to have mentorship, leadership, and community in their entertainment industry or media and technology as well.
So kind of continuing to advocate for entertainment, advocate for communications, the arts, so on and so forth, and showcase those things. Your work and things like WICT is how we met, which was
Yeah.
at the Burbank Entertainment Expo. So when I was fortunate enough to work or to intern at Seven the Keys, a podcasting company in LA, they manage shows like Bad Friends, Tiger Belly, very popular podcasts. I was there just helping work their booth, and then you came up to us and we spoke and we were able to make a connection. I forgot what your inquiry was, or if you were just doing the rounds around the
I was
expo.
doing the rounds. That was when I was a Woodbury student. So during
Mm.
my MBA, it's a 1 year program, which was amazing. I got to meet so many great people, and that just happened to be a cool event happening on campus that day. And I'm always like keen on going to networking events. So
Mm.
when I saw your booth, you guys just seemed so friendly and the opportunity seemed really cool. So yeah, you were just a really friendly face. I'm really glad I got to meet you that day because there were so many great booths for that expo that year, I remember.
Yeah, 100%. And we were able to make a connection and then kept
Yeah.
in touch and then following up about it here. So it's always funny how where things can lead. So I'm also curious to kind of lead into the questions today. I'd ask you just what led you to wanting to work in things like marketing?
So the opportunity really presented itself when I finished a mentorship program through the WICT network, and they offered me a position on their board for social media marketing. And I immediately said yes, and I got to start promoting their events. And it was just fun to take photos and record some of the great, mentors that would come and speak at their events. So the opportunity really just happened naturally. But I feel like our generation tends to gravitate towards towards marketing because we're better at social media, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. Um, but yeah, it was really a collaboration with their board too. So I was making sure to learn the techniques that they wanted us to use. So I learned how to create assets on Canva and make sure that the branding was with their colors. So it was a great learning experience for me as well. And actually, the role that prepared me for that one, even though it's volunteer, but was my first volunteer role during at the expo, I think that we went
Mm.
to. There was a booth for the Burbank International Film Festival. And I immediately signed up for their newsletter as well and reached out to volunteer for them as well. So yeah, I just got really into volunteering, and most positions that they needed were marketing related. Um, so even for the Burbank Film Festival, I got to join their marketing committee after volunteering for their festival. And it was really fun. We got to make videos at local Burbank businesses promoting the festival and places where movie scenes were filmed, and just being really creative on my spare time. And it just made going to work more fun because I get to look forward to making content after.
And of course, you were able to work and kind of like you mentioned with the Burbank International Film Festival, you were in their advisory board. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, that was such a fun experience. So I got to see the behind the scenes of, the festival operations as a volunteer my first time, and then my second time as an advisory board. Um, all the planning that goes into festival is incredible, like the work that goes into it, and the experience is all just to make it better for the filmmakers and offer them so many resources. I got to see the breakfast panels where entertainment attorneys were giving like advice on what they can do to be better equipped whenever they want to get their films started or contracts signed. And then the gala itself, they honored Quentin Tarantino this
Hmm.
year, which was incredible to be a part of and just to see everybody. And yeah, it was a very supportive community to be a part of. So I'm really grateful for that experience.
I've always seen the photos from those galas and they look
Yeah.
absolutely sick. So you mentioned the gala honoring Quentin Tarantino. Can you tell us about that whole process?
Yes. So every year, the Burbank International Film Festival has an honoree that they
Mhm.
do a Q&A with before the awards ceremony at the awards gala. And this year, we were lucky enough to have Quentin Tarantino, and it was so incredible to hear his life journey and for him to share advice with filmmakers in the audience. So yeah, just getting to be around that energy, and it was really exciting to be a part of it. But I was more on the volunteer coordinating side, so
Hmm.
I got to make sure we had volunteers on for that shift and that gala.
Were you able to meet him at all or interact with him at all?
I personally didn't. I know some of the board members did, and of course, like from the audience, people were pretty close to him.
Any advice you remember him having for anyone or any fun moments from his time there?
Yes, I believe he mentioned a lot about good writing.
Hmm.
So just like making sure you hone in on your writing and making sure that, I think he's really big on the traditional form of filmmaking. So doing
Hmm.
things not the easy way, but the hard way, and enjoying the work of it. And most of his work, I believe, is like it's timeless, and
Hmm.
there's a reason for it. I think he just really loves the art of filmmaking. Um, so yeah, I guess that was my takeaway from his speech. I had to go in and out of the gala sometimes for my like coordinating role, but
Hmm.
it was really cool to just be around everybody and get to hear his point of view.
Amazing. I mean, well, you were working, so unfortunately,
Yeah.
right there, you couldn't be a fan. Can you tell us more about volunteer coordinating and what these events look like?
Yeah, so one of the fun roles at the film festival is volunteer coordinating, getting to designate volunteers for each shift and each station. So we had our check-in table, and they would check in the guests to watch the film they were interested in. And then the ushers, which was a
Hmm.
fun role as well, they would also like guide them toward their seats and make sure that they would roll the tape at the appropriate time after the Q&A. And it was cool like to see it all come together. Um, it was just fun to be part of that. And all the volunteers were so incredible and so excited to be part of the festival. And it was just fun to get to meet them and work alongside them.
And what would you say is your favorite part of working on something like Burbank International Film Festival?
I would say is getting to be with passionate people
Hmm.
and just with people who are excited to be part of something. And yeah, just staying in touch with them as well. So I think meeting people was the best part.
And I'm just curious, what is like the key separator between working for something like WICT and working for Burbank International Film Festival? Like what's like kind of like the
Oh.
differences, but also kind of what makes them similar in a way that really draws you to them?
I think they're both related to entertainment, obviously. The film festival is more geared towards film, and
Hmm.
with the WICT network, it can be, but it's also like a holistic view of the entertainment industry, such as like the business aspect of it, more of like the executive positions or yeah, like the business side of entertainment, which I also find interesting. So it's like a nice balance. I get to dip into both sides that I really want to learn from.
Do you have any favorite memories from either working at WICT or Burbank that or the Burbank International Film Festival that you would want to share?
Oh, so many. So Alexandra, she was on the board with me for
Hmm.
the Burbank Film Festival team, and we just became such close friends after
Hmm.
working together. So I think meeting her was one of my favorite memories because we'd always film the most fun content around Burbank, and she was always down for anything. And yeah, I've stayed in
And,
touch with her since.
and what kind of content usually? I know you spoke a little bit
It
about it
was,
earlier.
yeah, when we were on that team together for marketing, it was just always centered around shining light on local Burbank businesses.
Hmm.
So there was a place called the Bodega, which was a Halloween themed bodega in Burbank. And there's
Hmm.
always these really cool Halloween themed stores in Burbank, which is so unique to the city. But yeah, we would just shine light on those and like I would hold the camera, she would hold like we would take turns holding the camera and it was just fun to explore because I really like finding these new spots and then now you can like they're your go-to.
Yeah, yeah, and kind of use the community to help promote the event and then kind of
Yeah.
create a community around it and kind of continuing on about your work. You mentioned earlier on that you work at a electric company. Can you tell us about what you do there as
Yeah.
an executive assistant? An amazing title.
Yeah, thank you. So it's in North Hollywood and I support the operations of the business. So a lot of
Mhm.
the scheduling, day-to-day coordination, could be billing a client or coordinating with clients. Um, it's an electric contracting company, so we have projects all across LA, Torrance, Santa Monica, LAX. It's just fun to be like all over the place and just operating from North Hollywood. But it's cool definitely to be a part of that company as well.
And what does the company you're currently working at do? You mentioned they were an electric company.
Yes, the Cal Express Electric. So we do industrial electric work, commercial, and residential. So yeah, it's mainly in the Los Angeles area.
And how does that kind of work with the skills you've made?
Yeah, I think it just showed me how to work in a fast-paced environment, like which is like an operational environment, just to be really detail oriented, which I feel like you need in any business setting, especially in entertainment. And that industry is especially like very fast paced. So it's nice to just get like experience in that kind of environment as well.
So of course, all of this you have a passion for volunteer work. I'm curious where that all stems from.
I think it stems from me wanting to meet people that are
Mhm.
like-minded and have like the same interests. Because sometimes when you're in class, like I like to learn about the subject and talk about it with my peers, but then being there in action, it feels more tangible, where I can get my hands on it and learn and grow. Um, So it was nice to have that balance. So I was really eager to get started on volunteering and then build that confidence so that when the role does present itself and I do find that opportunity that I'm ready for it. So I think it was more of a mental preparation too with volunteering. It does help build confidence, and also you meet such incredible people along the way.
Amazing, amazing. And do you have any advice for anyone who wants to do the things that you've done through kind of all the experience you've had through like things like WICT, through things like the Burbank International Film Festival?
Oh yeah, just always be open to new opportunities. There's an organization for everything, is what I've
Hmm.
learned. So if there's something that really interests you, just go for it and see what's in your local community. And there's even things that are, I'm sure, like hybrid nowadays.
Hmm.
But yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions and see what's out there, because sometimes people, like a lot of people at the end of the day, they want to help and support your goals. It's just more finding that community that wants to give you the tools to get there. So with the WIC
Hmm.
network, it was nice because they're all centered around mentorship. So
Hmm.
I didn't have to like feel shy about asking for a mentor. They're already there to, mentor me and guide me. But it's always important to ask. So yeah, don't be shy. It's just, I think it's nice to have that support along the way too.
Communications is about communicating sometimes and
Yeah.
really building those networks, like you said. I'm curious where this all will lead for you. What's your kind of end goal with all the skills you've been building?
So my end goal is to work in the business and legal affairs department
Hmm.
of the entertainment industry. So it could be a studio or a company that's more centered towards production.
Hmm.
So that's what I find really exciting and rewarding, is to see like these amazing scripts be turned into art
Hmm.
and movies that live on forever, and whatever that future like story is going to be. But yeah, there's a lot of timeless pieces that I rewatch over and over again. It's just cool to know like there was an attorney behind that, and there was
Hmm.
a team of people in marketing, and it's really interesting to me to know how many people it took to, the end
Yeah.
credits. It's always fun to see all the different roles on the credits to see
Hmm.
how a movie came to life.
Yeah, even that could be a great networking opportunity to see the people in the credits. Maybe that could
Yeah.
be a nice LinkedIn hunt for someone.
Yeah, imagine Googling all of those people. I've tried once, and then sometimes their role, like, I don't know if they're retired or, yeah, that would be cool actually.
Yeah, yeah, whatever works, especially in our field where networking is so
Yeah.
important. You mentioned attorney, so does entertainment law, is that something that interests you?
Yeah, that's always interested me. I think when I was in college, especially, I joined the pre-law society. So anytime we had an entertainment attorney on the panel or anything like that, my eyes would light up.
Mm,
So even now with the Burbank Film Festival, we had an entertainment law panel. I signed right up for that one. It was really interesting. Um, so yeah, I got my paralegal license, so
mhm.
definitely roles in law I'm interested in still. It's just something that I'm going to use alongside with my business skills.
And can you tell us more about entertainment law? Because it's a very kind of fascinating profession and not something people probably think about a lot.
Yeah, with entertainment law, I feel like so much is changing.
Hmm.
So I want to speak more on it, to be honest. I want to have more experience in it too.
Hmm.
So, but from what I've gathered, it's a lot of contracts and negotiations. So even if you wanted to go the agency route, you'll
Hmm.
learn a lot about the contracts that go into partnership deals with a brand and a client that is like, let's say like an influencer celebrity. But a lot of the times, whenever you see these brand deals, it's based on a contract and a really great attorney behind it, making sure you're not signing away anything. But yeah, with the with film specifically, I'm still learning. So
Hmm.
like I was learning about distribution rights and things like that. So I'm hoping I can answer that question better in the future.
And perhaps I'll follow up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm also curious because you mentioned kind of a love for movies, wanting to lead you into this path in entertainment. Where does that all stem from?
I mean, growing up, I watched so many movies and TV shows, but the ones that stuck with me, I noticed were a lot of the musicals, maybe some of the Disney shows and
Hmm.
movies. But I love the Sound of Music. I think like the Princess Diaries series.
Hmm.
So it was just always nice to have like that comfort movie you could always put on and your family will watch with you, and it's just a good time.
Yeah, and you can help bring those for other people in the future. So
Mhm.
kind of sticking on the concept of growing up. So you grew up in Glendale, but you kind of live near Burbank in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, California. Do you mind telling us a bit more about that experience, what it's like growing up there? Because it's a place I worked and was very fond of, and I'm curious
Mhm.
about your experience kind of growing up in that area.
Yeah, it's a great experience. There's so much to do. Like, there's just like it's like a family city, I feel, but it's
Hmm.
also such a busy city,
Hmm.
um, for like work. And a lot of the studios I noticed are in Burbank. So Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network used to be there too,
Hmm.
one of the buildings. I think now it's the Burbank Production Center office. But yeah, growing up there, I'm trying to think of like childhood memories, but it's just like going out with my family and like walking around downtown Burbank, or now there's Americana in Glendale. So it's definitely like gotten bigger and busier. But yeah, it's just very like a lot of my childhood memories are in the city, and now I got my master's in Burbank. So it, like also my adult memories. So it's nice to see like the city growing and getting better, and
Hmm.
so many changes, but definitely great memories from, yeah, just like going out with family and friends. It's always a fun time.
Yeah, and something I've noticed that you refer to different parts of LA as cities, and that's something that really struck with me because just
Oh,
during my time in LA, as of course I'm from Connecticut, I realized that every part of LA feels different from one another. Like I lived in downtown and I would commute to Burbank, and it feels like I'm going from New York City to a small town. It's
yeah,
funny how in the different parts of when going to Hollywood, every place feels different. And I know you and I spoke in the past. You referred to Los Angeles as a county, which it is,
it's
with
like, yeah.
different cities in it. Do you mind kind of describing a bit of that for the audience? Kind of what that how LA is so different from how different places in LA are so different from one another.
I guess it's just spread out depending on your day. Like a lot of people commute to work. So like if your day starts on in downtown LA to Burbank and then back, it's just like where the day takes you. But yeah, there is so much to do in LA as a whole. You get to really pick and choose what you're in the mood for. So yeah, there's Beverly Hills is still considered LA, like Century City, that area. So yeah, you can go as far as there, and then if you want to go shopping, get a coffee, and then it there's a lot of coffee shops I noticed in LA. So now that's like the thing to do. I notice is coffee, matcha,
Hmm.
um, walk around the mall. I wish LA was more of a walkable city, not gonna
Hmm.
lie. But I feel like I always gravitate towards going to the places that are. So like let's say you want to go to the mall, Century City Mall is great, or Americana, the Grove. Oh yeah, so
Hmm.
there's even Melrose. That city is really, really fun and trendy. So um yeah, I guess when you're living in it, you don't really realize it. But yeah, there are a lot of different parts of it that make it feel like different. Yeah, like you were saying, like I mentioned different cities, but I guess that is different to talk about. But
Do you have any recommendations for anyone kind of wanting to
oh,
live in the city and kind of navigate it? Because kind of like you said, that's something that was a struggle for me is un how LA is not really walkable, contrary to something like New York or compared to something like New York.
yeah,
What would you recommend for someone who wants to live in Burbank or live in the city?
I would definitely say come and explore and see which city you gravitate towards the most. Because each one has like their own like age range, or like some are more family cities, some are more
Mm,
like younger people. Um, there are walkable cities, don't get me wrong. It just depends. Like you're like commuting is inevitable. So let's say like you have a friend that lives in Santa Monica, or you're like either gonna meet halfway or
mm,
drive all the way there. But yeah, it really depends on what your preferences are, like being closer to work and taking that into consideration. Um, but I know a lot of my friends like they like to live in Silver Lake, or like there's the Westwood area, which is more students by UCLA.
mm.
Um, so I think it just depends what you're looking for more too. But Glendale, like I noticed there are a lot of families too, and a big Armenian community too, which is what I've been a part of. I'm
Mm,
Armenian. I grew up going to Armenian schools as well. So
mm.
yeah, I feel like there's so many great communities all across LA. So it's really whatever you gravitate towards the most.
Yeah, and that is a big part of you is the your Armenian heritage. Tell us about that growing up in Armenian schools.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, even in kindergarten, there's an Armenian school called Tufenkyan.
Hmm.
That's where I met some of my closest best friends. Um, and after that, I went to Shamlian Armenian School, which is a great Armenian school in the area. And then AGBU, which they also have a location in the valley.
Mm,
But yeah, I met a lot of my close friends growing up there, and it just it brought me a lot of gratitude towards my culture,
mm.
and getting to also go to Armenia with my classmates was amazing. And then coming back and like sharing those stories and actually getting to see the history in person. But yeah, I think it just brought me a lot of sense of community and strength in knowing our culture growing up.
Do you have any memories from that? Any events or anything, even anything you helped put on through your work?
I go to the Armenian Film Society events, which I
Hmm.
find fun. Um, yeah, they promote a lot of the Armenian filmmakers in the community, even if their work isn't directly like an Armenian film, but just like promoting them as filmmakers is cool to see, and like their community growing in the entertainment space is really exciting. And growing up, I was just like always really involved in like the cultural fair, and like doing the songs with like the school, and wearing traditional clothes, I think is what they would have us do. And yeah, like fun memories like that.
And of course, my last name's Ziaks, so we can relate with very European last names
Hmm.
that, at least in my case, is always very hard for a lot of people to pronounce. So we're able to get into
Yes.
your work as a volunteer, your work in marketing, and your work helping to advocate for all of these organizations and all of these causes. I'd like to ask you just a bit more about yourself, and if you
Oh
don't
yeah.
mind, what's something that people might not know about you, like fun facts?
Oh, fun facts. Let's see. I love going to the beach. What else?
Hmm.
I like when I'm on the spot, I sometimes forget fun facts about myself. Um, I already mentioned I'm Armenian, speak
Hmm.
Armenian, write it, read it, but I like to travel,
Hmm.
um, and find new spots around LA, the city, something they wouldn't know about me. I got my lifeguard license when I was growing up,
Hmm.
so I was a certified lifeguard. I don't, I guess not many people know that about me.
Yeah, so maybe they make another Baywatch movie.
Oh
That's
my
something.
God, no, not an ocean lifeguard. That would be hard. Just the pool. Just if there's a swimming pool, I can guard that.
Perfect. You got it on lock. So let
Yeah.
me follow up on that by asking you, what's one thing you love and one thing you strongly dislike?
Oh, I love the ocean. I love
Hmm.
going near the beach. I strongly dislike rude people, or just
Mm.
like rude um miscommunication. How about that? Because I know people
Mm.
can be nice deep down, but yeah, I strongly dislike miscommunication and just like negative energy.
Mm. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense because we're in, like I noted before, communications. So mis so bad communication
Yes.
is no good. And really, I know I asked you about your goals moving forwards
Mhm.
before, but I'd like to ask you just what are some of your hopes and dreams professionally or in general?
Professionally, I would hope that I grow in whatever role I'm in. I hope that
Mm.
it's collaborative and creative, and I get to work with amazing people like I do now.
Hmm.
And personally, I think I just want to continue growing and doing what I'm doing. Continue surrounding myself with like my good friends and supportive family, which I'm really grateful for. Um, and yeah, maybe not limiting myself to just LA. I'd like to explore more, like go to New York, or um,
Mm.
yeah, maybe spend some time there too.
And you
Yeah.
mentioned movies being a big part of your childhood, a big part of your passions. What are some of your favorite movies and why do they resonate with you?
Oh, I love romantic movies.
Mm,
Maybe The Princess Bride
mm,
has been one that always sticks with me because it starts off as just like a storybook, but it just feels so real and fun. And I think I mentioned The Sound of Music. It is a long one, but it's so good, and it's such a comfort movie. Um, what else? I just watched Good Will Hunting, which I feel like is a classic. But yeah, I definitely needed to watch that one, especially like it has such great advice about fear and letting go of fear and
Mm.
just going for what you truly desire. Um, which stuck a lot with me. So yeah, I'm always watching things that like are classics and feel goods. So
And then allow those to kind of influence your work and
mhm.
influence what you want to do. And overall, you influence this episode of the Zicast to be really, really great. So thank you so much for your time, Prenny.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm so happy to be on this episode. Thank
Of
you.
course. And do you have anything you want to leave the audience with? Motivational words, plug, anything,
Mm.
plugs, or anything like that?
I guess just be confident and
Hmm.
believe in yourself and enjoy, what opportunities life brings you. You never know who you'll meet. Like I met Ryan. So
Hmm.
yeah, just always be open to new opportunities.
Yeah, of course, Prenny, you're a networking pro, which I think really follows through all of your work, and I'm greatly inspired by what you do with kind of volunteering for these different organizations like WICT, like the Burbank International Film Festival, and just advocating for the arts, but also the people within them, which is really important. And creating a community is really, I feel like there's nothing more powerful or stronger than that. So I'm greatly inspired by your ability to do that, and thank you for sharing that with us today.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. You're the best.
Of course, same to you. And as always, this is Ryan Ziaks with the Zicast, where everyone has a story. Signing off. Thank you so much for watching.